Hi, I'm Landis. Welcome to my studio. So I'm making a little maker's mark for our thumb picks here. This is water hardening steel. It's a 1/4 inch square. And I just file it's flat to start with. This one I didn't design out first, I just sort of designed it backwards right onto the steel. And it just says Landis 925 to mark the our thumb picks. And it's all done with little chisels and files. I had this done once before, and it was taking a lot to hammer it in. I thought maybe I need to sharpen up the lines a little bit, give it so it'll cut in a little easier. So this stuff is really easy to work harden, or I mean to harden and temper. So it was already hardened, so I just heated up cherry red real slow and just let it really slow cool. I just did it with a torch, about I don't know, 20 minutes or something. And now it's just dead soft, so I can file it. And but here's the trick here, because you want these things square, and you want them perfectly flat. So when you put it on a surface, you're making full contact. So the way to keep it square is I use my little punch. This is my die sinking device, and it holds punches perpendicular to a die. This is a hardened, just flat die here. And so to keep it, as I'm engraving it, it gets little burrs in here, and then I want to keep it, and sometimes I might cut down a little bit, and I want to keep it all perfectly flat, so I'll just use this here. And little 400 sandpaper, I can just lap it and keep it perfectly perpendicular. I don't want to go too far because, like I said, I want to keep those lines really sharp. So I'm just incising in a little line. I'm not putting in, wide lettering on it. It looks pretty clean now. I don't know if you can get a close-up on that. But this is about done. Always look under the microscope again. I can get real clean on this. Normally it doesn't take very long to make one of these, but I've had really bad luck with this punch. As soon as I get it done, I'll slip a graver, or the thing will slip out of the vise, and I'll gouge the thing right across and have to start all over again. So I'm hoping I can make these last couple cleanup cuts without doing that. And the trick is, I think, to get this really tight, I need to have Timothy carve a little V groove in my engraving block so I can hold punches just for this. Helps to hold round things too. Super tight. I have another punch at the bottom too to keep it solid down, so I put down pressure without having it slipping. Because that's why I ruined it 3 or 4 times already. It's slipping out of the vise. And this is my Lindsay here. It's called the Palm Control. He does another one called the Classic. It's a foot controlled. It's pretty good. It's this basic same handpiece, but it's foot controlled. I like this one because I learned push graving, and so it's very much like that. It's just got a power hammer behind it. So the harder you push, the more it engages that little hammer. It really didn't take much to learn it, because it's basically just like the same tool I've been using. This and this microscope really changed my world when I got into power engraving under a microscope. It just changed the whole world. So I can get way up close to super detailed engravings. It's very small lettering, and that's why I got it originally. I was doing a job, and it required some super accurate, very small lettering. I tried and tried. I finally got a microscope, and you know, engrave as well as you can see. So this thing really helps a lot. Now again, I'm getting pretty close. I should probably just call well enough alone. Be that one last cut. You know, slip and chop a letter in half or something. It's pretty delicate. And then once this is done, I'm going to go heat treat it. I guess we can shoot that too. Sharpen up these lines a little bit more. Got a really sharp tip, the square graver in here. So I tend to break the tip a lot because it's very sharp. I forget the angle. Alright, it's the Lindsay detail graver. And I use it, I like it for these punches because I can get way down there. I can relieve the background really a lot. And then to square off, like I've got this cross piece in the A here, and I want to get it really sharp and square in the corner. I'm using a 38 flat graver. I'm just going to get the corner, and I'm going to plunge it straight. Not straight down, a little at an angle, but see I can clean up that corner. And sometimes they're good for cleaning out these serifs a little bit. And do the same up here. I'll sharpen this up from the inside. And it's getting pretty close. I think I probably call that well enough alone here. Oh yeah, I just want to show one other thing. I did want to clean out this 9 in here. I use a little round graver for that. I can just kind of scoop it out, and this should give me a nice crisp line. Pretty close. All right, that's pretty close. I'm going to lap it off one more time and then take it to the torch and harden it. That should be it. Notice I didn't, like in our hardening videos, we show encasing it in stainless steel foil, or sometimes we'll use an anti-scale compound on it to keep it from burning. But that's because it's in the furnace for a lot of hours. This is done so fast, I don't need to do that. It won't corrode very much. Maybe just slightly on the surface, which will be cleaned off. But notice when I dunked it in, I went straight in, because if you go at an angle, sometimes you can warp that punch. It won't fit back into my die sinking device real smoothly. So anyway, it's hardened. Now I'm going to clean it up and temper it. Okay, I took it down to white metal, shiny metal, and this way I can see the colors happening when I heat it up to temper it. And usually you usually want your tip to be about a kind of a straw color, and I usually temper it back where the hammer's hitting. I temper it back a little more, so I might concentrate more on the hammer end of the punch to get it heated up, and then watch the colors kind of move up toward the tip, because you don't want to over temper it. You want a pretty hard face, but maybe a little softer in the back so you avoid chipping it when you're hammering it. You don't want to do this too fast. You want to allow the heat to kind of dissipate through the whole piece. So I'm just kind of playing with flames there. You can start seeing the color now starting to sort of a brownish tan back here. And that's where the hammer end is. So I'm just going to try to keep it a good even heat. Again, I might put a little more heat on the back end. It's okay if that goes down to like a purple or a blue. But if you don't temper it, the steel is going to be too hard. It's going to be about file hard. So you put a hammer on, it's just going to shatter. So it needs to be tempered. See, you see that nice purple color coming out the back? And there's different hardnesses, different temperings for different operations. For punches, like I say, and dies too. You want to get Rockwell hardness of about 58, 59. Back here where the hammer's hitting it, maybe a little less. So that's getting pretty close. See, that's about right there. So I'm going to just quench it. And it's ready to roll. I'm going to polish it up, do one final lap on the surface, and it should be ready. Alright, so it's all hardened and tempered. I'm going to take one final pass in the lap here and just kind of polish off the end. I'll give it, didn't take much, just alright, now I'll give it a test stamp here. It works. Yeah, that looks a lot nicer than my first attempt. It's a little cleaner. Yeah, that looks better. Just a light tap's all it is. You don't want to crunch the whole thing down.